Hey everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Success Builders. Today we have a very, very special guest that I'm truly honored to have here. Um, to introduce this guest, I'm going to tell you a very quick story, right? So I'm going to take you back to the 25th of May, 2020, and it's a story that rocked the world. You may remember there was a man that came out of a grocery store. He was accused of presenting a mere $20 bill that was allegedly counterfeit and suffered immense police brutality. He was held to the ground for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. He was unable to breathe at a certain point, and the the officers who held him down wouldn't let him go, and he lost his life. That was George Floyd, and this is his uncle, Selwyn Jones. Selwyn, welcome to the show.
Hello, young man. Hello, young man. How are you? Keep in mind, he didn't lose his life. He got murdered.
That's that is
Uh,
correct.
got literally murdered because of a allegedly $19 and 100 pennies. And one of the biggest reasons why that incident took place is because of the color of one's skin.
That's right.
Because we numerous situations like that before, and we've seen a shooter in Atlanta. He's living. We've seen a shooter in Buffalo. He's living. So you've seen all of these atrocities that have happened to people that don't look like me. And they got a jail cell. And my nephew got a grave. But guess what, man? Since then, we have been moving. So I am proud to be here. Dream big, build bigger. And that's what we're
That's
here.
the
We're here
way.
to incite some people and just show people that no matter how bad a situation gets, you always have to look forward. You always have to look ahead,
Definitely.
and you can
Agreed.
always grow, my brother. So what's happening, my man?
Yeah, everything's good
Like
my
I'm a
side.
speaker. I sound like I'm a speaker, don't I, man?
Cool. So, I'm based in New Zealand. I'm in the future. So, if you need to know the lotto numbers, I'm your guy.
Hey, I need them, brother. I need them. I need them. I need them.
Very good. So, our show is all about success, right? This is Success Builders, and your particular brand of success is change, right? That is the success that you bring to the world is change, right? And by telling the story of your nephew George Floyd, and yeah, I'm sure our audience is going to be sitting at the edge of their seats, just waiting to hear your story and how you came about to be an advocate for everyone who has suffered something similar, or just an advocate for oppression. All right, so hey, tell us your story.
Uh, I woke up one day, and we're going to skip the part about me growing up in the Jim Crow South, about working in the fields for pennies. We're going to skip the part about me growing up in a house, not having indoor plumbing or running water. We'll skip the part about me being beat up, traumatized because I was poor and I was a black guy with freckles. We're going to skip all of those parts. We're going to skip the part about me being able to wake up in the morning and not go to the bathroom to relieve myself till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to forget about those parts when I got beat up when I went in the bathroom. So I learned how to do that. The less you go to the bathroom, the less you got beat up because you were treated like you were nothing. We'll forget about those parts. And
Man.
we'll move to the parts of May 26, 2020. Uh, Labor Day was the day before that. We played softball at a field. And and I wake up that day, COVID was going on, and I do the same thing every day. We treat our babies like it's school every day. So especially with COVID, they had to get up, they had to get dressed, they went and they sat at the table. No routine changed. And I wake up one morning and I go in there on the 26th of May, and I walk in. My mother-in-law was standing at the door. My wife was sitting in the chair, and they looked like they lost their best friend. and I walk in there, hey man, what's going on? What's wrong? And silence. I sat down, I focused my attention on the television. Now keep in mind, I just saw Ahmaud Arbery. I just saw Breonna Taylor get murdered. I just seen all of these atrocities. So I live in South Dakota where we're less polluted with African Americans, polluted, less populated with African Americans than any place in the state besides Oregon. And every time I see a young man being taken advantage of, especially of color, it burns me because I lived through that. I lived through the Klan knocking on my door. I lived with watching the Klan rallies walk down the middle of the street, as a kid, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I'm thinking, wow, won't somebody help this guy? And my sister called me, and as of that specific time, with that specific call, my whole world has changed because all she said was, did you see what they did? And that guy that I'm watching on television, that guy that I'm watching suffer, that guy that I'm watching go through all of this hell was my nephew, with my big sister's baby boy. And one thing I always say to people is when you watch that video, when that video popped on the screen, you knew that the black dude was going to die in this movie. Everybody that watched that video, you waited just like I did for him to die. And then he bellers, mama, then he dies, which occurred at 8:23 and 15 seconds on May the 25th. And May the 26th, there was a lot of chaos. There was a lot of anger. There was a lot of frustration because the world saw once again somebody get taken advantage of because of one color of their skin. And you waited for this one. You were wondering, hey, uh-oh, hold on. Okay. But you waited for this one. And one day goes by, no arrest. And then everybody said, no, 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 we're not doing this. And for 3 days, the whole world was screaming my big sister's baby boy's name. You have no idea how it is to watch your nephew get murdered in front of and on television and see the whole entire world, 7.5 billion people, say his name. I'm standing on some steps in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I seen people otherwise that would despise me because of the color of my skin walk around a corner holding signs that says, am I next? Black lives matter. All lives matter. We all come here for a short period of time. Why not make it a better place when we exit than when we came in? Because we've been fighting this battle over the last 400 or 500 years, basically since our total existence. So Uncle Selwyn had to come to some conclusions really quickly. And the conclusions that I came through as I sat and watched my nephew get murdered, anything that had ever come across my sight, whether it was Martin Luther King, where it was Malcolm X, where it was any kind of racism affecting any race, creed, or color, I said to myself, I have got to take a stand because I knew when you see that many people that have rallied around one man's death, one man's existence because of the situation and how he went out, I knew I had an opportunity. And I have taken that opportunity and I have been running absolutely wild. I get tired sometimes, but I'll have time to rest when I'm not here anymore. Because this morning I got a call from a young lady in Florida, and her daughter was riding with the judge's son's girlfriend. They basically killed a little girl in the back of a car because the girlfriend of the judge's son daughter was driving and she was drunk. She didn't die, but she was a advanced dance team. Now she's a quadriplegic and she's got no justice. So people reach out to me because my job is to give all of those people that want George Floyd's that nobody will never hear about a voice and an opportunity to have their situation and their story told because I'm opening doors for people to win. I'm opening doors for people's voices to be heard. So I ain't doing much, man, just a little bit,
That's
and
huge.
a little bit, man. I wake up every day and I know that people need to dream, breathe, then deliver. Because we as human beings have been dreaming our whole life. Most of us dream our entire life without delivering. I can't do that anymore because I've been breathing and dreaming my whole life as a black man, as a dad, as a father, as a brother, as a friend. I have biracial babies. So how can, and sometimes I get a little kick in the butt for saying Black Lives Matter. This is the part that people kick me in the butt. All lives matter. And I look at them and I go like, you're really missing the point because we come here for about 75 to 80 years. Why can't we just make this world a beautiful place? Show respect, show empathy, show drive, show determination, because that respect factor means an awful lot to people, man. So, like I said, got a podcast, Setting It Straight with Selwyn. My podcast is designed to have people's voices heard that have got a son that they've been fighting for. Uh, Green, uh, Louisiana. Her son was at a casino, and there's the bayou right behind the casino. You hear a gunshot. They run him to the river. Guess what? It's been 3 years. Nobody's never seen. They didn't drag the river. They didn't do anything. They ran him to the river so the alligators could eat him because they know that it's a proven fact that most men of color can't swim because we don't grow up around swimming pools. We don't grow up around beaches.
Yeah, yeah.
You have this mother that is aching, wanting to know what happened to my son. They won't release the body cam. They won't release any paperwork concerning that particular incident. But what we know is that young man ran to the back of that casino. You hear a gunshot. I got him. And that's all you've ever heard.
You never hear
Those
from
are
him
the
again. Yeah.
never heard from him again. Those are the cases. And you have a mother that is still in her heart living hope that he maybe ran from the police or he's hiding somewhere. When in reality, the Gators probably got him. And that's hard to let that happen on my watch. Sonia Massey, you walk in a house, you ask her, the first thing you ask her is, what's wrong with you? Obviously, there was a mental situation occurring. You shoot her in the face 2 times. Her life is destroyed because she called for help. And you decide to change a wellness check into a death sentence.
Yeah.
These are the things that occur in the world that we live in on a continuous basis. And I have literally taken it upon myself and all the collaborators that I can get involved with great people like yourself, to help me spread these words because justice needs to prevail. And empathy is a great thing. Care about people. In the old days, if somebody gave out a gas, you picked them up, you gave them a ride. But granted, the difference between the old days and now is that person that you would have picked up back then would have had a pocket knife. That person that you pick up now could have 2 or 3 guns because the empathy level is so weak. The respect factor is so weak. And that's something that, it's a battle, man. You can battle that because people now are more inclined to take than give.
That's absolutely true.
You
And that
know,
needs to change because That's not sustainable. I mean, it's
That's
just gonna everything's gonna descend to anarchy and chaos if nothing changes,
well, guess
right?
what we're living in? Guess what we've had? Anarchy
Already,
and
anarchy and chaos. Yeah.
chaos, man. So we, I could cry every day when I think about how my nephew was lying on the ground. He went from laughing, dancing, begging, crying, and dying. And when I think about his big smile, when I think about his goofy ass, when I think about what he stood for as a person, as a good old country boy that had an issue, uh, criminalization of mental health is of high alert. They would prefer to criminalize you and lock you up and let you work for that farm than to give you help and to assist you with your mental health issues. Asanya Massey, Frank Tyson, I can name numerous people that have died because they were having mental health issues, man. So, and I know that it's hard to control a lot of these situations, but I just honestly feel like they could be trolled in a different way by the people that are supposed to protect and serve and protect us. You know what I'm saying?
Totally
Gun
agree.
violence is at an all-time high.
Hmm.
People would prefer to shoot than to talk. Whatever happened to the de-escalation skills? Think about that. When me and you were young, we get in a fist fight. I'll see you later, partner. If I took off running from you, hey man, you got the best of me. I'll see you tomorrow, partner. You know what I'm saying? I'll see you tomorrow. What's up, man? That was a good shot you gave me, but we ain't trying that no more. So the next time is mine. And it wasn't a flight or it wasn't a do or die situation.
Yeah.
It wasn't that serious. Now people are hurting people over pennies. People are hurting people because of opinions. So man, like I said, we can debate and elaborate on all of these situations all day, every day, because this is the world. I went from owning a motel, watching my
Mhm.
baby ride a go-kart around a parking lot because that's all I wanted to do. We bought a motel. I remodeled it myself, me and my wife, and I've got a 9-year old and an 11-year old, and he was 4 years older at the time. And all I wanted to do was make him the best human being I could possibly. All I wanted to do was watch him ride a go kart because when I was a kid, I couldn't afford anything. I never had a new toy, never had a new bicycle. So I see all of those things out of his eyes that I didn't see and didn't have. And all I wanted to do was sit at the middle of the corner of that parking lot and watch that boy ride and flip it over and get dirty and think, wow, now I know how it feels. Now I went from watching that, getting uh, excited by seeing the look in his eyes, to now I have to change my thought process to protect his eyes. Because guess what? We ain't had a good run of it for the last 58 years. Because of one color of one skin, because of your financial background, because of where you live. So there's so many dynamics that my job was to protect him from. And now I want your son. I want my son. I want everybody's son to be able to act like kids.
Exactly.
You can put a
Yeah.
baby on a playground that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And guess what they'll fight about? Who's got the ball? Don't matter if the black guy's got the ball. Doesn't matter if the Hispanic person has the ball.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter if the Portuguese kid's got the ball. They're
Yeah,
fighting
that's
over
me.
the. They're, I laid that one in there for you, but
Yeah,
they're
thanks.
they're fighting over the ball. So they're not fighting because one looks different. They're fighting over an inanimate object. Well, guess what? We both most fight over the same damn thing, but
Yeah.
instead of fighting and getting over it, we kill each other and torture each other over something so simple. So I always say we could learn things from kids, but once again, they haven't been programmed with the programming system on how you act, what you act, when you act.
That's right. So, if you could walk us through, like, let's say someone is in one of these situations, a family has experienced something similar, right? Um, they reach out to you. What does the process look like? What kind of support do they get? And what sort of assistance do they actually get from you and your team?
I have got probably every prominent attorney uh, in the United States that deal with these cases. I got them on speed dial. I've got every paralegal. I've got counselors. I've got mental health therapists that have my back because when you call me, prime example. Hold on. Oh, did I have it here still? Wait, I don't. See, I knew you would put me in this place because I've got a ton of them on my phone. I just don't want to dig through and find them, but pretty much it goes like, "Hi, Uncle Sal. Wait, oh, I got it. 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 Michelle. She hit me up this morning. Mm, don't let me down. Don't let me down. Anyhow, a young lady named, let's say you hit me up. A lot of people reach out to me on Facebook or my website. Hello, Uncle Selwyn. This is Karen Wilbur. My son was murdered in 2022 on a police stop, and I have exhausted all ways of trying to seek any sort of help because nobody will help me. I will reach back out to them and says, "Hey, Miss Carol, could we get on a chat? That I want to hear your whole story. You know, I want you to tell me what happened. I want you to tell me where you're at because I know what people do. People criminalize your child. People criminalize your family member when something happens. So, okay, do you have representation? Do you have anybody helping you out? Well, no. Well, a lot of people don't want to take any of these cases because it's too hard to fight. And a lot of people in their mind, if there's no gain, I'm not going to put up the pain. Well, if there's any way I can, and I will go through a series of calling or reaching out to people that assist me in helping these people that are in dire need. And if somebody will say, "Okay, Uncle Sam, I got this one for you," or "I want to take this one for you," but somehow or another, I keep fighting and battling until I can make sure that there's an assist that we can assist you in a way and like you've never been assisted because nothing from nothing leaves nothing. It don't ever hurt to try because a
Mm.
lot of these people, sometimes, man, I've been to funerals. I've been to like 45, 50 funerals. And I'll get on this is on my own dime. Somebody will reach out to me. I'll be there. I will go there. I've been there and I've sat in people's houses and not said one word to them, just letting them talk to me. "Uncle Selwyn, how did you handle this? Uncle Selwyn, what do you feel about this?" You know, I've I've turned grieving into activism. I've known people, man, that have gone 2 years without leaving their bedroom. Tara Wilson, Chicago, because they murdered her daughter, Alexis, and she's not saw any justice. She reaches out to me, and I go down to Chicago. We have a rally for her daughter, a town hall. Now the police officer is being charged, so now she's going to seek justice. You know, what is her name? What is her name? What is her name? And this is sad when I think about these people, and I did this so many times that I have to concentrate on thinking of the people's name. Young man in Texas, police jumps in the car, shoots him in the back of the head 2 times. His daughter's sitting in the middle of the seat. Qualified immunity applied. Guess what? We got that thing taken back to court. And now they settled on it for wrongful death. There's
Okay.
65 cases in Tarrant County, Texas, at a Fort Worth County jail where there've been 65 people killed in incarceral deaths in the last 7 years. How does that happen? How does that happen? People. don't know how to fight for themselves. In Cleveland, you know, a lot of people says, Uncle Selwyn, thank God you came here, because the publicity and the media that we're getting from you showing up, we've never had, and we've had 8 people. They just had a 12-year-old kid that got killed. They kicked him in the head and they gave him an aneurysm and he's dead because they stopped him and he had a hood on. Think about those atrocities for minuscule amounts of crime, for no crime whatsoever, just because you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, man. So I tell people all the time, man, uh, all they have to do is reach out to me, whether it's through my podcast, Setting It Straight with Selwyn, whether through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and somehow or another, somebody will acknowledge that you reached out to me and I will see it. And I will fight until I can't fight anymore, because I've got so many people around me that it would have to be a totally chaotic situation for us to not to grasp some kind of angle on, man. You know, just reality. So
That's
I'm a
amazing.
do-gooder. I'm a do-gooder that'll
Good.
never give up. Just simple, man. Like I said, I tell people all the time, your family member is just as important as my family member, because a lot of people say, well, what makes you more important than mine? He isn't. But the biggest, most important thing is he gave me a platform that I can assist and help you with your need and your desires to get justice and to be free.
That's amazing. And at the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters in the eyes of God.
Oh, oh, you can't dance, I can't dance. I can't sing, you can't sing. You know what I'm saying? Some can, some won't. But at the end of the day, we come here with about the world's what, millions of years old?
God knows, maybe even billions. I don't know. I haven't actually investigated that.
We're occupying a blink in life. We're occupying a blink in life. So why not make sure that blink means something for others? You know, man, it's not a matter of what you got. It's not a matter of how you got it. It's a matter of how you help other people with the resources that you have within your reach. And like I said, man, well, I'm never going to be a rich man. I'm probably going to be the saddest human being that we'll ever known, because I fight for things that people will never get. I fight for Tyrese Nichols, Eric Gardner, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor. I fight to have their names lifted. And I tell mothers all the time, you're fighting for something you'll never get back. That is your child, that is your family member. But it takes a hell of a person to fight so nobody else will feel that same pain.
That's right. Because oftentimes I think people, just withdraw because they just don't want to face it, right?
My
Um,
brother,
it's just too hard, to go and relive the whole thing back in the courtroom. They would just rather walk away.
it's
And
pretty much like, it's pretty much, and this is the bad analogy. There's a reason why people use drugs and alcohol, to suppress their
to
inner
forget.
feelings and thoughts,
Yeah,
to forget. But what you realize is when you sober up, guess what? Right back in the face. I've seen so many people just ball up and just close their door, and I won't let them. Hey, man, you know what? Can I, Florida, New Mexico, California, Texas, New York, Connecticut. Hey, man, can I come by? Uncle Selwyn, why? Because I just want to come by and hold your hand and look you in the eye and tell you it's okay. Because sometimes people just need to know that it's okay. You can grieve. You can scream. You should be mad as hell that somebody took your husband or your baby's life, because they were having a seizure. I know situations, young man in Connecticut, he was having a stroke. And instead of them giving him medical assistance, I'm pushing a medical civil rights bill now because of them not assisting him with him having a stroke. They thought he was drunk. So they drag him out of his car. They take him to the booking station. They leave him in jail for 4 hours, laying on the floor. Then they realize that he was sick. He had a
Yeah.
stroke. They take him to the hospital. He can't use half of his body. Randy Cox, they arrested him and they were transporting him to the jailhouse. They were driving erratically. They turned the corner. He slipped because his hands was behind his back, broke his neck. They left him in the jail cell for 4 hours, and they were dragging him around like he was a rag doll until they got ready to book him. They put him in his own cell. Then they realized that he
He was
won't
dead.
make it. No, he was paralyzed. He's paralyzed from the waist down.
Oh,
The
okay, it's
first
paralyzed. Right, right. I see, I see.
paralyzed from the waist down, he received $40 million from Connecticut. That's the only state that has passed my medical civil rights bill, which is giving a suspect which comes into encounter with a peace officer, mall cop, guard cop, doesn't matter, the ability to give them medical assistance in a timely fashion. Because you know how many people die from getting beat up and hurt or neglected? And if they don't die in jail, they take them to the hospital. They die in the hospital. It's counted on the hospital. It's not counted in carceral death. Do you know how many people die incarcerated a year? It's
Right.
ugly. It's ugly. Thousands, hundreds of thousands. Just the same amount that die in jails from lack of medical attention is the same amount of people, the Remedy Project, that have been affected by wrongful convictions.
Yeah. I think your website said something to the effect that 4 to 6% of all convictions are wrongful ones.
They're wrongful convictions. Somebody didn't like you, wrong place, wrong color, and it all happens within the system. You're talking about the lawyers, the judges, the prosecutors that don't like you because you lived in a system. Uh, misuse of evidence. They lose evidence, and instead of them recanting, they'll move forward because obviously it's a payday to get somebody convicted for each state. The federal government assists you with, I think it's $37,180. Plus, you have prisoners go to work in jail, work in prisons to do the guard's job that they would have to pay somebody to do, but they do them for 40 cents a day. So that's a double win for the system. So man, we can do this all day long. And it's crazy that we have this many atrocities that one person wraps his brain around trying to make a difference and a change. So, my brother, when I tell you I don't ever sleep, I don't have time to sleep until I'm dead. I don't. Because, man, when you've been through and seen some of the things that I've gone through, I live in a town called Gettysburg, South Dakota, where the battle wasn't. And I've been coming here for about 25 years. I own a motel, several houses. My mother-in-law owned a big farm. And I went from being Miles, which is my middle name, to being a good old dude because, different color of skin, but I live and eat the way that most people eat, to being the dumbest in the world because we had a Confederate flag on the police uniform and police cruiser. And I got it taken down when we were taking off monuments. And I'm the dumbest black person that's ever lived. Go back to Africa. I've had people write F off NIGGR on the side of a building, and they left it there for 8 months.
What? That is crazy.
Yep, they left it there for 8 months. And I'd go talk to them because I know everybody in town. There's only 1,200 people. Hey, man, that's wrong. Let me write that on the side of my house. They're going to make me paint my whole house. Hey, man, it's a freedom of speech. If you don't like it, leave. Go back to Africa, leave town.
Yeah, that's not right.
And these are the things that I've had to deal with and go through. I've had memes written about me, and you know what it means? I haven't been in a store in my town in 5 years. And my wife's first cousin owns the stores, and I have literally not stepped foot in a store in 5 years in my town. And guess what? I don't care. If you don't believe in what I believe in, that's fine. I don't twist arms or anything, but I have an open mind. I have a mind for change. I have a mind to let everybody live their life, no matter how you feel, no matter how you live. but do it respectfully. Care about people, show empathy. Wrong is wrong and right is right, man. You know, we wake up with two things every day: a chance and a choice.
I love
You
that.
make
A
you
chance
make
and a choice. That is so
your
good.
chance better
Yeah,
for you at the
cool. So, before we close, I'm sure that our viewers would love to know, um, you know, what's on the cards for you for 2025? Is there anything major coming up? Do you have any major plans?
change. I'm coming to New Zealand. I'm coming there, man. I'm coming
That sounds
there.
good.
Uh, I've got I created an app, a prevention app, and I definitely will get back in contact with you so we can get it going.
Sure.
I have a prevention app that's pretty much a prevention tool that's
Hmm.
able to link your family together. You're able to have a panic button and a video and audio to assist with it, just in case you get yourself in any sticky situation. We got that coming out. Obviously, we have the podcast. I've got just a plethora of things. Put down the guns, pick up the weights. I have a reality show that we're creating. You know, it's called A Healing Journey with Uncle Selwyn. You know, so I got a housing project that we're building that we're being built in Harrison, Arkansas. You know, for marginalized people to have modernized housing, and I think the rent is going to be stuck at $275, $300. You know, so people can get ahead. You want to give people a hand, not a handout. You know what I'm saying?
Just a
Give them
hand
a
up.
hand. Yep. You know, so it's all about making a difference and an impact in a positive way. Because when there's no hope, there's no change. If there's no change, there's no hope. And we need
True.
all the hope we can get right now in this world, my brother.
Agreed. Totally agreed. And thank you so much for your time here on the show. It has
Hold
been
on, wait. I
absolutely
gotta get it.
incredible.
I gotta get it. Uncle Selwyn 929.org. Setting it straight with Selwyn. Selwyn Jones. Hit me up. I would love to hear from people. I hear from people all over the world. I would love to continuously growing my audience, and just hit me up and let me know. And I've never been to New Zealand, but I'm sure that there have been some atrocities that's happened in New Zealand that I would love to see if I could figure out how I could affect them too.
You're most welcome here. And what I will do is I will put all of your links into the description of this podcast. So please do send them to me after the show so I can make sure I've got everything. I'll lay it all out for the viewers and anyone that wants to make contact with you, needs help or anything, they'll be able to contact you. So thank you so much for being on the show. And we both have a similar saying. Your website says dream big. My show says dream big, right?
I love it.
And I'm going to add on to that, build bigger. Let's make the world a better place and bring about change. Thank you, Selwyn.
How can we do it, my brother? My
See ya.
man.